I'd say 4-6 looks a lot better than 3-7, and that's the Green Bay Packers record after their win over the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, Andrew. And is this the start of something with Aaron Rodgers now, and finally wide receivers making plays, especially Christian Watson, the rookie? Is this the start of something for the Green Bay Packers, you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, my Packer fandom's still there from my 10 years there. It's hard to leave it. I'm unabashedly biased.
Right.
I know Aaron, of course. He was there with me, Mason Crosby.
Right.
But, I think there's a road ahead, and you got to pass a lot of teams. So to me, the whole issue is you get in, and then once you get in, anything can happen. The Packers have proved that. They went to the Super Bowl and won it as a 6th seed. So, they got it. Looks like their competition is going to be like San Francisco because, you have a bunch of teams that are going to make the playoffs. Of course, Philly, Minnesota, Dallas, New York Giants, Tampa, and then Seattle, San Francisco. So you're going to have to get ahead of one of those teams. But they sure look good. You mentioned Watson. A lot of flack for the Packers trading Davante Adams, the Packers picking this guy, and he obviously showed why they made that investment. And this is the Packer way, Kirk. I tell people all the time, especially if people are asking me at the trade deadline,
right,
why didn't it go for Brandon Cooks or Chase Claypool or whoever? And I'm like, you don't understand. If they got one of those guys, that would push down the development of Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. They're not going to do that. It's just the Packer way.
It's just the Packer way. Former NFL executive Andrew Brandt is the host of the Business of Sports podcast and MMQB columns as well, joining the Rich Eisen Show. Kirk Morrison here filling in for Rich. You mentioned it, though. I was just talking about the trade where Davante Adams obviously goes to the Raiders. He's got good production, catching touchdowns, all that, but they haven't got the wins to sort of back up bringing in Davante Adams. Where I look at the other side, the Green Bay Packers, they're starting to possibly hit their stride. But, Andrew, it is a process that's going through with these young wide receivers. Other guys who they already had been banged up and injured off and on, Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins. Do you think if the Packers could possibly do it over again, would they have traded Davante Adams, or this is something that needed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a real backstory that we don't know. Even someone like me that's involved with the Packers so long, I don't know. I think all of our focus for the past 2 years was what's the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the front office, when what we were missing was what's the relationship between Davante Adams and the front office. Something wasn't right there.
Right.
And something was amiss because from my days at the Packers, we always went after priority players and early contract extensions, and they, for whatever reason, didn't do that with him, maybe until it was too late, until the Raiders offered something. So something went on there. And listen, the story of the offseason to me, Kirk, was these wide receivers hitting a new benchmark in pay beyond anything we even thought of. $25 million a year. And now Tyreek's in Miami, and A.J. Brown's in Philly, and Davante's in Las Vegas. Now, the other two seem to work out, right? So Brown's made a huge difference in Philly. Hill's made a huge difference in Miami. Adams is playing well, but the team stinks. And that's an interesting one to watch for me because the comments from Davante and Derek Carr yesterday really show a discord going on inside that team. And I thought when they got rid of Gruden and Mike Mayock and players, that was the whole idea. You get rid of that sort of malaise that was within the organization, and now it appears like it's there as much as any.
And that's the interesting part, Andrew, is because you expect results. And there are two teams. I want to focus now on that division, the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. You brought in off-season moves, and you've done things in terms of bringing in new head coaches that you expect immediate results. Right now, you're not getting it from Josh McDaniels. And then also in Denver with Nathaniel Hackett as well as the head coach. Could this be a situation that when you look at it at the end of the year and you evaluate, depending on how many wins that both these teams have, Could this be a one and done scenario with so much that you've invested for Denver in their quarterback, Russell Wilson, but for the Raiders with the receivers and Derek Carr?
Yeah, I don't know about the coaching. I mean, listen, Mark Davis is not one of the more cash-rich owners, maybe most cash-poor, actually. So the idea of him paying three coaches, could be paying Gruden, Bisaccia. I don't know if he's paying Bisaccia, Gruden, McDaniels, a new coach. Just doesn't seem feasible that owner would do that. But you never know. And, I think Denver with the new ownership is probably going to be patient. But you bring up the Wilson trade. This is people inside the business, and I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but when we see trades of all these picks for Russell Wilson or all these picks for anyone,
right,
and the fans and a lot of media are like, oh, my God, it's a win for the team that got the big name. The people inside the business are like, wow, that's a win for the team that got all the picks. Because when you trade a big name, the chances are the big name got a big name when he was in his peak. And now he's down from his peak. And that's what I tell people. When you see these trades, sure, you're going to say, well, the team that didn't get any big-name players back got screwed. But these trades are long-term investments. And even Christian Watson with the Packers, let's judge him against Davante Adams in 5 years. Not now. There's no way he's going to beat Davante Adams now, but these are the kind of ways you have to look at these trades long-term.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.